watching a whole Drive to Survive Season 4 in one night was not the best idea I ever had. So yeah, this one was the one that I've waited for like this, alright? So Drive to Survive Season 4 was the season that every single F1 fan or every single Drive to Survive fan waited like so much, because, well, we know what happened in the last season. I won't spoil, it's quite obvious, I think that everybody heard of it, but we all have waited. We have all waited for this season to come out. But before we start, let's explain to those who don't know what Drive to Survive is. Drive to Survive is simply a documentary series on Netflix about Formula 1. So it was the 4th season. The first season, the second, even the third were a massive hit, and it globalized Formula 1 on the whole world. Formula 1 was mainly known only in Europe. Now it went to United States, and it's just expanding on the whole world. And a big part of this is thanks to this TV series, which shown us the backstage of Formula 1 simply. But this TV series also has some controversies around it. Yeah, Netflix, we know you did. We know what you did. So many drivers, many fans that know Formula 1 since a long time were actually saying that Formula 1 Drive to Survive was faking the real facts, were faking the rivalries, were faking a lot of stuff, because they wanted to make the show, like they needed to make some rivalries to keep the show going. But because it wasn't actually very accurate to what happened in real life, many people were saying like, yeah, it's fun, but it's actually, well, it's bullshit really. And today we will talk about it. And just before we start, I just wanted to tell you that I'm a big fan of Drive to Survive. This is how I became a fan of Formula 1. I've watched the first, the second, the third season, and the season that we have right now is the first season of Formula 1 that I followed with great passion. I've watched almost every single race, every single time I was hyped up, and this year I'm hyped up as well, so I'm just a big fan. If you're interested about Formula 1 or other sports events, you should consider subscribing my YouTube channel about sport, which should be like proposed somewhere here or here. You get the idea, YouTube, right? And we're gonna talk about this one. And yes, clearly when you are a fan, when you are following everything that happens in Formula 1, you understand how Drive to Survive really fakes the actual action in the season. So we have a lot of things going on here that we should explain clearly, because there's already like a ton of memes. I've already spoken to a lot of people on Twitter. If you want to follow my Twitter, it's down in the description, when we have talked a bit about what happened in Drive to Survive. And I already said that I don't like Netflix antagonizing one of the teams. We will talk about that later, or it just fell off to me. But before we start about the actual accuracy of the facts, maybe let's talk about the creational side, like how Drive to Survive actually looks. And it looks surprisingly well. We have a lot of cool scenes. I was an enormous fan of the beginning of the episode. I don't know which one was it, with Yuki Tsunoda, the driver of AlphaTauri, in his Honda. There was night, there was a lot of rain, there was a lot of visual effects, as natural visual effects, like the rain, the light that beams off of the street and everything. And I liked that artistic visual side, and I think that we should have more of this, because this is something that actually made me say like, damn, like this looks good. The races, on the other hand, I mean, they look good as well, but I missed something. And one of the biggest downfalls for me in that TV series is how the races feel actually. Because in the first 3 seasons, what we had was races, and even if we knew the outcome, the races were so emotional. Like there was, like the race was technically speaking for nothing, and there was just so so much things going on the screen, like so many, maybe fictional, but so many like things to win, like the prizes and everything. You can just compare any race you won from the season 4 to the race from the season 1, with Daniel Ricciardo winning the Grand Prix of Monaco, or Gasly winning the Grand Prix of Monza. There was so many emotions. The stakes were out here for us viewers, and it was great. I was a big fan of this, and now we don't feel it. Now I was especially hyped up for the episode with Daniel Ricciardo on Monza, with 1-2 of McLaren, and once again, I didn't feel those emotions anymore. Like, there was this crash between Verstappen and Hamilton, and it was the turning point for us, but it wasn't like, we didn't feel the same emotions. Like, I don't know how they did it, but there was some director on, I don't know, the producers who just made the first seasons, or even the third, created so many emotions about some single and simple events that it was incredible. And here you could actually think that it works on its own, because the sequences that we had this season was one of the best in the history, like the season of Formula 1, not Drive to Survive in that case. And wow, it was like great. And here, no, it didn't work, and I was actually very disappointed in the fact that we had some good stuff going on. I was a big fan of showing the teams how they worked, and I think that the fact that we've seen a lot of like Williams, that was on the other hand one of the best episodes in the TV series, like about Williams. Every single time when I was watching an episode about Williams, I was, here we go again. And here it was actually very interesting, thanks to the new team manager, Jost. And on the other hand, the episodes that I've expected like to be the best of the best of the best, like the last one, the one before, the 9th, or the one at Monza, I was like, come on, give me something. And we didn't have nothing. I was very disappointed in that. Now, accuracy. Here it's where we're gonna do some barbecue here, really. What we have is lies upon lies upon lies, and it's not even about actually, saying that Drive to Survive is complete bull, because there is some accuracy in some events, but the private relationships and how Max Verstappen and Red Bull were treated compared to Mercedes with Lewis Hamilton, nah, I do not accept this. So just for you to know, I'm a McLaren fan, so my favorite driver is Daniel Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly, so I'm quite a neutral guy in that part. Like, when we are talking about Mercedes against Red Bull, I was for Red Bull, but that doesn't change the fact that I wasn't like, find me a fucking Hamilton fan and I wasn't going UFC on anyone. I was interested in that title fight. And what was happening, and I've seen a lot of injustice going on around Verstappen and around what happened to him, actually, because we have this episode on Silverstone when he crashed, and it was a fight with Hamilton. I don't say that Hamilton should have been fucking, I don't know, killed on sight because of what happened, but it was a fight between two cars, and it's alright. It's alright. One didn't leave enough space to the other didn't leave enough space to the other. Happens. It was a very dangerous accident, but it happens. And in Monza, there was another accident. There was another accident where I think, personally, both drivers had something behind their ears. They both didn't leave any space to one another. There was another crash, very dangerous as well, because Hamilton, without the halo stuff going around, he could have died. Like, clearly, we have a tire of the car who actually has, touched his helmet, which was like, it was a very dangerous situation. and we are pushing Max like he is the worst kind of driver in the world. And we have even Lewis, the beautiful, perfect Lewis, who says that I'm one of the most clean drivers in the paddock. Dude, even I, without following Formula 1 that much before, know what was your start of career. And saying that you don't have a lot of crash, maybe some friends in America who never heard about Formula 1 before they've seen Drive to Survive, maybe they'll believe you, but nobody believes you. Like, what the hell? That was just so ridiculous. Even the journalist, God, I forgot his name, Burton his name was. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna wait a second.
2 hours later.
Even William Buxton, yeah, I found this name. I'm sorry, William Buxton. What he said, I'm a big fan of Buxton's, interviews of how he is. He's even in the video game. I like it, and the way he spoke about Formula 1 so passionately in the first 3 seasons, I was a big fan. And hear what he says about the Hamilton and how Verstappen is the bad guy because he pushes so hard, because he wants it. It's like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this. And I'm not a big fan of how Red Bull has been treated in the last season. I think it was something that should have never happened. Especially since, one thing again, it was clearly shown that the Netflix are thinking that Lewis his title has been stolen. Clearly, they say clearly that the championship has been stolen, even if it hasn't been actually proven. And of course, there was a lot of controversies around it. There was a lot of controversies about every race that happened in that season, like the races, like I said, on Silverstone, on Monza. What we had in the last 2 races when Hamilton hit the car of Verstappen, saying that he brake tested him even if he was supposed to give him the position, or that Hamilton on the beginning of the race crossed like half of the track without going. He just crossed, like saying that he was pushed off, which I think he wasn't that much, and he should have given back the position, which he didn't. And the fact that the last situation, I don't want to get too much into details in this because it was in December, we are in March, so right now we're more in the the new season coming more than the last one. But still, I think that just taking sides on the documentary that is about sport, and not, for example, I don't know, Second World War, where we know that Second World War, well, we will not be neutral. We know were bad, so we will antagonize them because they were bad. And here we do antagonize one team on the other, saying that Verstappen was the violent one, Hamilton was the wise one. Well, first of all, Hamilton has won 7 championships and is quite older. I think the oldest is Alonso. I think that even Vettel is younger than Hamilton, or they have pretty similar ages. But he's older, he's wiser, and Verstappen never have won a bloody championship, not even close. And it's quite normal that he wanted it that much, and he pushed. Of course he pushed, but every single one of us would push. If you are this close, you're pushing. That's the sport. Like, clearly this is all about. And sometimes the limits has been pushed too far, but from the both sides. And now we are making, like, for example, we haven't mentioned once what happened in Brazil, and with this weird DRS system of Mercedes, because of which they have been sent way on the back of the grid. And you're thinking, like, what the hell? It's so frustrating to see that Red Bull is just antagonized on so many levels. That is clearly, I'm not a fan of this. But like I said, there was a lot of good episodes. I liked the episode with Williams. I liked a lot the episode with not Williams but Russell against Bottas. from Mercedes, and I'm thinking like those episodes were cool, and the rivalry was real. That's why it wasn't so complicated to have like a good situation. It was just so natural, because when we see the crash on Imola, when Bottas and Russell have this collision, and Russell, full of rage, goes and like almost hits the guy in the car after a massive crash, after I don't know how many G's. You're thinking like, that was great, you know. That rivalry, I'm a fan. The rivalry between Ricciardo and Norris, I'm not such a fan, because yes, they do not like each other like we expected them to, you know, just go together. Like, for example, Ricciardo with Verstappen, that was beautiful. Carlos with Norris, that was beautiful as well. And they both do not stick together like the other guys did, but still they're not such an enemies as it's shown in the TV series. Like the moment where just Lando have stolen the phone of Ricciardo and started tweeting like, Lando, you're such a great guy, or whatever, and it was so hilarious. And clearly you see that there's some good vibes, but here it was always about bad vibes. Like, wow, that's so deep. They're just looking one another and you're thinking they're gonna punch each other, like, clearly. And so I think that we are missing something sometimes, and I think that they should focus on real rivalries, especially that we had some. And for example, the Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin rivalry, like, there was something clearly between them that wasn't just, there was something, and we didn't have it here. And Mazepin, on the other hand, just let me tell you, they ruined his image completely. There's nothing to say. Like, the guy is one of the most hated drivers ever last year. Now he's even more hated because his father is a rich Russia guy, and Russia has invaded Ukraine, so we don't like Russian usually. And after this episode about him, when he is just this guy who thinks that if he has money, then he can get it cocky and just insult everyone. And his father like says that if my father won't win a race in that car, he will take his money back. You're thinking like, oh my god, you will get smashed by the fans. Like, he was already smashed, but right now he's smashed even more. And I won't miss him in Formula 1. Like, clearly Magnussen is all I needed. Like, you could have Hülkenberg, you could have Magnussen, you could have this guy that is the second driver for Alpine. What's his name? God, I forgot. But you could have like so many drivers, and Mazepin will not be missed, and his money will not be missed. Ciao, mi amico, you know, like Mazepin, like screw you, like f*** off. And that would be it. Thank you so much for coming. If you enjoyed that review, make sure to like it and comment down there if you like the TV series. If you don't, if there's something missing or something not, I mean, come on, we can have a nice discussion. If you want to join more discussions that are definitely more casual, I invite you to go and join me also on my Twitter account. I'm also starting to get some activity on my Instagram, so if you want to get closer to the production and closer to my opinions, like for example freshly after watching an episode or a movie or playing a video game, then go down there. There's a lot of stuff happening. We have a nice friendly discussion with many Twitter guys who don't even watch my videos, so clearly if you're interested, go and see there. I'm giving this season, I'm gonna have to give it a 6. I feel bad because I was so excited, and the fact that there was so many disinformation, so many lies, so many negative things around, that I was like, nah, I cannot give 7, I have to give a 6. So sad, especially since the first season, like if I would review it right now, it would get like a 9 straight away, or maybe an 8 because there was lies as well out there, but a 9, yeah, why not? A 9 would be great for it. And now the best season of all time, probably one of the best seasons of all time, and we have like a 6. Netflix clearly doesn't know what to do, and every single season that comes out is not that good as the first one. So I think that the formula starts to get like really we're just missing something, and I'm not sure if that will continue so much, because I think that this season, like, it's a big failure, and so sad. If you are interested in sports, once again, you can subscribe to my other channel, Sports by Zero. I think that's the name. I hope that's the name. It would be actually hilarious to miss the name of my other channel. I talk about football, about UFC if I have some time, some NBA if I have some time, but I cannot speak anymore, and Formula 1, which will start this weekend. So pretty excited for that one, and subscribe to that channel and subscribe to this one if you don't want to miss other reviews. We will review other movies, we will review video games, we will review TV series like this one, or books. So if you have some good propositions, drop them at the comment section and we will see what we can do. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. It's been a pleasure, and see you next time.